Welcome to episode 64 of Miss Mando, Ontario's source for the latest in the disc golf world. I'm not your host, Robbie Holden. I am your host, Sean Galbraith, Shawnee G. And with me, as always, is absolutely no one. Unfortunately, Robbie and Galen have anything else to do, and so it is just going to be me holding down the fort for most of the episode, but I think Galen might pop in for our feature interview this episode. So what have I been up to? Well, thank you for asking. Let's see, a couple weekends ago, I was out at the Four Fathers Open at one of my favorite courses, Newcastle. And about 10 minutes before the tournament started, there was a space popping open in MA3. So I jumped on it. Was planning on just photographing the day and just volunteering, but got to play if there's a spot. And so I did. And I played extremely mediocre, below my rating, and came in tied for 15th out of a field of 28, which, yeah, that's pretty much where my game is at these days. But had a fantastic time. The course is in absolute fantastic shape. The new insane tee pad on hole 18 shorts is really, really cool, and just absolutely love playing there. Kevin and Chris and Tanya, they always put on a great show, and it was great to be able to play the event and not just volunteer at it. I don't know what the other guys have been up to. Probably nothing. Galen, baby stuff, whatever. But we have a fun show for you tonight. We are going to send it over now to our feature interview for this evening, and it should be FPO touring player Chandler Ray. Well, we'll see. I think it's going to happen. Still working out the details. It'll be my time tomorrow afternoon because she's over in Europe playing on the Pro Tour. So we'll see. I hope so. If not, well, then there's just going to be tournament recaps and the other show nonsense after this break. And we'll be right back on Miss Mando. Thank you, I think, to Chandler Ray for joining us for a feature interview. I am sure we learned a lot, and it was a great interview because we conducted it. Okay, so the interview didn't quite work out, but timing-wise, she's over in Sweden. We're going to try and get a special interview episode out next week. But first, some Ontario general news. This past weekend was the Paul Macbeth Foundation Throw for More fundraiser. This is a worldwide event where you can sign up, try and raise money for the Paul Macbeth Foundation, and you do that by playing courses anywhere in the world. You track your courses played on UDisc. They make a donation. You solicit donations from all your friends and family. There was a very notable inclusion in the local Throw for More scene. Toronto boy Craig Ireland finished number 1 in the world for number of holes played. He shot an incredibly insane 1,215 holes of golf, all at Maryland Bell Park. This is the little 9-hole course on the shore of Lake Ontario in the west end of Toronto. This totaled about 132 kilometers of walking. I can't even begin to imagine doing that. That is an incredible achievement. Well done, Craig. You can still make a donation to his effort by going to the Throw for More website, and you can search for Craig Ireland, and you can drop a few bucks onto his effort. It is well worth it. He absolutely earned all of your money. Next, we're just going to move on to registrations. As of today, when this episode drops, the Paris Memorial opened yesterday. This is invitation only until July 15th, when after that, I think it's going to open to all players. The event's going down on September 6th. And shockingly, that is it for new registrations in the next 2 weeks somehow. I guess there's going to be another wave of them, I think, in July for like the August, September stuff. New things just keep dropping on the calendar, so definitely keep an eye out on Disc Golf Scene. And while you're there, here's some upcoming tournaments that still have space for you to jump in. First, June 27th, the Winter Farms Spring Frenzy. Next, the Good Games in Guelph is going down at the Arboretum on June 28th. There's going to be a rated disc golf rounds out at Eddyville Super Spin, also on June 28th. The Forest City Open somehow still has some space available. That's going down at St. Julian's in London on July 11th and 12th. And one more for this week, the Cold Creek Extravaganza. This is a Masters tournament as part of the Masters Legends Tour in Ontario. This is at Cold Creek Conservation Area in King Township, and that is happening on Wednesday, July 15th. I hopefully will be there. So tournament recaps. As always, Robbie writes these, and I don't read them in advance. So here we go. Our first tournament that we are recapping is the Sudbury Smash and Dash. This is a TD Academy tournament, and it is put on by new tournament director Mike Jonkis. This event saw 53 players across 11 divisions make it out to the one-day, two-round event. There were no pro divisions in the event, so starting with the top amateur divisions, Chelsea Pike averaged 13 points above her rating in FA1 en route to a 19-stroke win over friend of the show Corey Murdoch. It's her third win of the season and first win in FA1. Congratulations, Chelsea. Over in MA1, Shane Rogers averaged 989 over 2 rounds, a whopping 69 points above his rating, and cruised to a 12-stroke win over Patrick Michel, with Dean Alick rounding out the podium in third. This was Shane's first win of the season and also his first career win in MA1. Well done there. We've got one ace to shout out. Kyle Eady in MA2 bagged the ace on hole 13 Reds, which was a 163-foot shot. Well done there. There were also 2 close battles. Those are divisions that were won by only a single stroke. We have Sam Tyne beating Carl Haynes by a stroke in MA50. And over in MA2, this went to a playoff between Tyler DeGiosa and Wesley Miller. And when the dust settles, Tyler emerged victorious. Well done there. Congratulations, Tyler. Our next recap takes us to the always amazing Newcastle Disc Golf Course for the 6th annual Forefathers Open, which was the next stop on the Ontario Tour and saw 150 players across 17 divisions looking for a provincial qualifying spot. The weather for the Saturday players was amazing, and the exact opposite of amazing on Sunday, some of the worst weather of the 2026 tournament season. And FPO, Stephanie Hall, got off to a hot start and took an 8-stroke lead after the first round. She was able to keep her foot on the gas for the final round en route to a 16-stroke win over Taylor Quigley. This was Stephanie's third win of the season and her first career win in FPO. Well done, Stephanie. In the MPO division, Bennett Duncan shot a 1,002 rated -6 in the opening round to take a 3-stroke lead over Eric Terminisi. After the first round, with James Duong, Jacob Mainville, and McGuire Webster all tied at 4 back of the lead. In the final round, Bennett was able to do enough with a 971 rated -1 to maintain his 3-stroke lead, this time over Kevin McIntosh, who finishes second after a 995 rated -4 in the final round. This is Bennett's first career MPO win and makes him back-to-back at Forefathers after winning MA1 last year. In FP40, Jane Logan took a 1-stroke lead over Bon Bon in the first round, but in the final round, Bon Bon had an unfortunate DNF and Jane shot a -1 en route to a 19-stroke win over Susan Avery, the pride of White Spruce, who finished second. This was Jane's third win of the season so far in FP40. Over in MP40, Brock Tierney shot a 969 rated -2 in the opening round to take a 2-stroke lead over Justin Murphy. And in the final round, both players were able to get hot with 995 rated -4s, with Brock maintaining his 2-stroke lead for the win over Justin, and Daryl Nantis rounding out the podium in third. This was Brock's first PDGA win. Congratulations. A lot of first-time wins in this week's recaps. Fantastic. Over in the top amateur divisions, White Spruce's Sarah Skates took a one-stroke lead over Tamara Siwak after the first round in FA1. But in the final round, Sarah was able to pull away from this field, shooting 82 points above her rating with a 914 rated -4 and taking down the win by a whopping 11 strokes over Tamara, with Tanya Ramsey rounding out the podium in third. This is Sarah's fourth win of the season so far, to go along with another 3 podiums as well. And finally, in MA1, Josh Kvasnak shot a 961 rated -1 in the opening round to take a 4-stroke lead over Kai Louis Smith, while in the final round, both players shot a matching 933 rated -6 for Josh to take 2-stroke win over Kai, with Bryce Chudak shooting a 942 rated -7 to move up 2 spots into third. In the ace battle, we had 3 aces. I think there was only 3 aces. 3 aces that I could see over the weekend. We had in MA40, Dennis Barnes acing the practice basket hole, which is a 147-foot shot. Alex Campagnolo in MA2 aced Cliffhanger, which is 122 feet straight up a hill. Tony Burns in MA3 got hole 12 Reds, 168-foot ace. Well done. In the close battles competition, we had MA60's John McLeod beating Taylor De Silva. FA2 was a close battle with Catherine May and Jasmine Phillips tied after 2 rounds, and Angelica Haggard only a stroke behind. When the playoff was done, Catherine took home the trophy. Well done, Catherine. And lastly, in MA3, Tim Phillips beat Jacob Guo. Congratulations again to all the players and to the TDs for putting on yet another amazing event out at Newcastle. Next, we head to St. Thomas, Ontario, and the Waterworks Disc Golf Course for the 2026 Waterworks Open, which saw 65 players across 7 divisions making it out for the one-day C tier. In FPO, St. Thomas's own Sandy Hendel set the course on fire in round 1, shooting an amazing 991 rated -5 to take a 9-shot lead over Bon Bon into the final round, where Sandy kept her foot on the gas and turned her 9-stroke lead into a 14-stroke win. This was her 2nd FPO win of the year, her 6th win overall this season, and 71st win of her legendary career. In MPO, the Hendel show continued as Sandy's brother Martin shot a 1,025 rated -8 in the first round to take a 5-stroke lead over Anwar Al-Shawi and Clayton McCaffrey. And in the final round, Marty's closest competitors fell off the pace a bit, allowing Marty to coast to a 7-stroke win after a 955 rated -7. Shout out to John Holman, who shot a 995 rated -10 in the final round to move up 7 spots for a tie for second with Clayton Morgan and Matt Bootsma. For Marty, this is his 2nd win of the season and the 78th of his career. In the top amateur division, there was no FA1 in the event, but MA1 defending champ Corey Hunter shot a 1,002 rated -6 in the first round to take the lead, but Kyle DeGost was right on his heels following a 991 rated -5. In the final round, Corey was able to find an extra gear and pulled away from the field en route to a 4-stroke win, his 2nd win of the season so far. There was one ace, Matt Ross, who, in addition to taking down MA40, he also got an ace on the hole 9 shorts basket. Well done. And one close battle to report on. MA2 went to a 1-hole playoff where Jesse Temple beat Lucas Thompson by a stroke. Well done there. And finally, we go now to the second annual Lucky Lines Open, which was in Guelph last year, but this year moves to Almont, Ontario, and was the next stop in the 2026 Ontario Tour, seeing 121 total players across 17 divisions looking for a podium finish to qualify for provincials. In FPO, Stephanie Hall took down the solo win as the only competitor in the field, her second FPO win of the season. In MPO, Jacob Mainville shot a 997 rated -3 to take a 3-stroke lead over Bennett Duncan after the first round. And after the final round, he was able to run away from the rest of the division with a 992 rated -5, taking down the win by 10 strokes over Bennett, Marcus Schmidt, and Spencer Zollinger, who all tied for second. After 3 second-place finishes so far this year, Jacob gets his first win of the season and the third win of his career. In MP40, Jeff Rowland and David Milks both shot 943 rated +3s to sit tied atop the field after round 1. But in the final round, David was able to completely separate himself from the field, shooting a 982 rated -4 and taking down the win by 7 strokes, his third win of the season and 10th of his career. In the top amateur divisions, with different divisions on different days, FPO champ Stephanie Hall went for the double dip and played FA1 as well. She shot a career-high 950 rated -4 in the first round to take a 6-stroke lead over Melissa Vanderlewis. And in the final round, she would go on to take it down by 7 strokes, her third FA win of the season, to go with her 2 FPO wins. In MA1, Garrett Morgan shot a 1001 rated -3 in the first round to take a 5-stroke lead over Daniel Silanu, Spencer Zollinger, and Daniel Bima, who were all tied for second. But in the final round, Garrett would fall shove a little bit off the pace, shooting a +9, dropping down to a tied for third. Meanwhile, Spencer was able to clutch up with a 975 rated -1 to take down the win by 3 strokes over Chris Hosmar, who moved up 3 spots into second. This was Spencer's third win of the season so far. Well done. No aces to report, but we got 3 close battles. Michael Lane and Logan Gillard went to a tiebreaker, and in the end, when the dust settled, it was Logan taking it down. In MA2, there's a 3-way tie between Curtis Graham, Louis Trimesta, and Kristen Carrad. After the playoff, Kristen took it down. He took home the hardware and the win. Well done, Tristan. In MA3, Keith Kissman beat Devin Kissman, Scott Cole, Duncan Murray, and Adam Fernandez, which I think is the most people tied for second place I think we've ever had since the start of this show. Well done, Keith, taking that 1 extra stroke and not having to do a 5-person playoff. That would have been interesting, though. And that's it for tournament recaps from Ontario. So let's move on to the Pro Tour for a recap, which Robbie, as always, did not write for us. We move over across the pond to the European Open, going down in Tallinn in Estonia. In the FPO division, let's see here. We had Evelina Salonen going almost wire to wire. She led after the first round. She led after the second round. She was tied for first in the third round with Czech 15-year-old player Kristina Jersikova. And then in the end, it was Evelina taking it down in the final round by a very comfortable 4 strokes. She beat Yulia Fors and Kristina Jersikova, Yulia being 14 years old and Kristina being 15 years old. I don't know what it is. Like, the European FPO young guns are just amazing. It's awesome to see. Awesome to see the talent that is coming out of Europe on the FPO side. Over on the MPO side, it was, stop me if you've heard this before, it was the Gannon Burr show. This was his first wire-to-wire major win. Surprisingly, his first wire-to-wire major win. He was leading in the first round over Ricky Wysocki by 1 stroke. After the second round, he was leading over Timo Lampinen out of Finland by a stroke. Round 3, Ricky battled back into second place, but Gannon shot a 10.99 rated -12, and that included a double bogey on 17 somehow. But at that point, he had a 9-stroke lead, and in the end, he cruised very comfortably, I would imagine, to a 4-stroke win over Ricky Wysocki, with Gavin Babcock and Timu tying for third. The tour now heads over. Oh, wait, before we do that, let's one more thing. As always, we've got to give a shout out to the Canadian in the field, Rebecca Dawn, who unfortunately finished 1 stroke out of cash in 24th place. But it looked like she was having a lot of fun over there. As I was just going to say, that the tour now moves over to Sweden for the 2026 Swedish Open, the second of 4 tour events in Europe before they jump back across to North America. First for the USWDGC going down in Utah. You got a mountain major, which would be pretty cool. And then I think we head to the Discmania Open in probably Iowa. Yeah, very cool. It was a great event over in Estonia. The time difference, a little tough to actually watch the thing unless you want to get up at 3 a.m. But I guess, it's kind of like what they have to do when they want to watch Pro Tour events over here, which is the rest of the season. That is, I think, going to do it for episode 64 of Missed Mando. As always, when nobody else is here, I crank through these episodes super fast. We got no nonsense, no time for nonsense. So if you're out there playing this weekend, maybe you're out there playing the CWE up in South River or the CWE at Maryland Bell. What day is it? Oh, no, those are both happening tonight as I'm recording. So I hope you did well and I hope you had a lot of fun. But maybe you're playing the Memorial for Bocce out at Bronte Creek on Saturday, or the Guelph CWE, or the Otonabee Open, the next stop in the Ontario Tour out in Peterborough. Maybe you're playing the Double Down CWE at Newcastle. Maybe you're playing the Sudbury Little Heisers Tour event, or the Summer Farm Frenzy out at Winter Farms, which, as I said, still has lots of space available. Or you're out at the Good Games in Guelph, or maybe Sirens on the Fairway down at Centennial Gardens in St. Catharines. Who knows? Wherever you are playing, I hope you have a fun time. Shoot your personal best. Have fun. Be a good competitor. And we will see you